What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that said, let's get right to it. So starting off, Lucid did do fairly well over this last week. It did close at 6.16% in the green. But this week definitely could propel it in either direction because it's kind of a crazy roller coaster, but there is a ton of Fed speakers throughout the week, as well as a lot of data points, all with the opportunity to really kind of shake out the market, a lot of which as well is going to be instantly correlated with interest rate cuts, and you already know exactly what that does to the whole EV sector, which is very sensitive to interest rates. So starting off on Tuesday, you have PPI, CPI on Wednesday. You also do have right here on Thursday initial jobless claims, and that's been one big data point over this last couple of weeks that's definitely sparked some debates on recessions and whatever else. Luckily enough, last Thursday was fairly good, so kind of calmed and helped Thursday and Friday close very strong. But you also do have retail sales, and that's been one thing that Powell and just a lot of analysts have been really focusing on is consumers. So in reality, you have kind of a twofold event occurring on Thursday. So regardless, very, very volatile week ahead of us. And so Friday is going to be more of a technical driven day and whatever else, and a couple of Fed speakers. So I think in general should be a fun time. Like I said, a lot of that is going to be instantly correlated with interest rate cuts. And as it stands, 49% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut for the next meeting for the September 18th, then a 51.0% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. So all in all, if data comes in better than anticipated, you'll see this bump up, and this is where you could see once again that rotation that I was talking on like a month ago on how big money would be very satisfied with the likelihood of rate cuts and rotate out of money market into equities. Because even looking at the November 7th meeting, you do have a 12.7% likelihood of a 75 basis point cut. So that's obviously assuming a 50 already occurs. So yeah, I think in general should be a very fun week for Lucid. This is what they do have planned. So it looks like it's going to have a pop-up at the King of Prussia, as well Sapphire at the Sherry Creek Studio, and also Monterey week. So that is a very big week. So hopefully, I don't think anything is planned, but it'd be really good if Lucid had some interview of some sorts, because again, that's pretty iconic. A lot of big names are going to be there, and no doubtably a lot of big announcements in the automotive sector are going to be announced as well. So I think that would be a good opportunity for Lucid. And looking on here as well, they did post this. I don't think it's actually on their website, but it looks like Sunday is looking electric in Torrance, California. Join us August 11th, and it goes over the dates just to see the prototype collection. So this is a very good example, as what I've brought up in the past, how it doesn't always correlate with this right here. Then again, maybe this is more of a last minute kind of scenario that they did kind of post. So if you guys are attending this, let me know in the comments below. Give yourself a shout out, because that does look pretty kick-ass. If I lived anywhere remotely close to that, I would pop over there, because yeah, seeing the prototype collection would be really, really good. Very exciting. So aside from that though, shorts, anticipate shorts to be very active. So it does kind of skew the numbers, because it does show a increase of 16.66 million on Friday. That's not necessarily true, because NASDAQ did disclose their new numbers. So it does show as of July 31st, it's always delayed, but as of July 31st, the short interest was 28.64%. So that is true information and everything. What Ortex and a lot of other platforms do is they take this information, which is from the NASDAQ, correlate and estimate up to the present date. So this is why right now you do have 28.19% of the free floats being shorted, and that's why it's kind of adjusting as so. works out to be 252.93 million shares. So if a lot of the data coming out this week is negative, then yes, anticipate shorts to be fairly active. Over the last 2 trading days, so Thursday and Friday, they have been a little bit more active. And when it comes down to options, you might see market makers and shorts get a little bit more active to try to suppress Lucid below key strike prices. So right now, this is all the open interest on the calls. So you do have 1,000 at that 250, 14,000 at the 3, 7,000 at the 350, and 18,000 at the 4. So it is a monthly chain, so it is a little bit higher volume. But you should also watch for a lot of these high numbers. So this is where shorts will try to suppress. So if Lucid does get close to the $4 this upcoming week, then yeah, you'll see shorts to try to suppress it to ensure it does close below 4. And the reasoning is market makers don't want to exercise or have these call options exercised, because typically market makers don't have a lot of volatile stocks such as Lucid in their inventory. So obviously meaning they'll have to go to the open market to buy that. They don't want to do that. So I think in general that is something to keep in mind. But one thing to keep in mind for the chain for the August 9th, so last expiring on the Friday, Lucid did close above $3, so that does mean that the 5,000 in open interest are going to be exercised, meaning market makers are going to cover that come Monday. So you might see a little bit of a blip first thing, and that is just market makers covering that. So again, that's something to keep in mind on Monday, as well as more so near the tail end of the week. And as of right now, with it closing on Friday at $3.19, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So $3.30 will be that next strong resistance / target, and then 306 will be that strong support that you'll want to watch for it to hold. Did kind of bounce off of that general area, momentarily did go below that. So $3 as well is a very key kind of psychological support level as well. That's kind of in between these points that you just need to watch for. And luckily enough, Lucid did hold and stay above that 50-day moving average. So we generally know what happens with that with Lucid. So as long as they can stay for roughly about 2 days above that 50-day moving average, that is confirming the trend. So hopefully it should actually be able to propel it higher into the higher percentile of the week with a lot of good data, and maybe retest this $4 range. But looking at stochastic as well, you do see a start of a nice bullish deviation, as well as with it at 27. It can be arguably still considered oversold. So if Lucid does put out a good piece of news or a lot of data on a larger scale comes out, then you should see a rush of value investors getting into Lucid, kind of similar to this period right here. So I think all in all, like, pretty exciting times. It could go in either direction based on the data this week or upcoming week. So yeah, it'll be a fun time. Based on the momentum indicator, shows number of retail investors have been getting out, and even on Friday they were selling out a little bit. So if you're one of those individuals that did sell on Friday, let me know why. As well, if you have been buying, give yourself a shout out in the comments. So let me know your thoughts and throw your price prediction where you feel Lucid is going to be by the end of this upcoming week. I do feel realistically it should be around that, most likely just probably close to 350. That's where I see things, unless the data is very, very good and kind of signaling of a confirmed 50 basis point cut for the September 18th meeting. Then it might be kind of between that 4 and 350. So we'll just have to wait and see. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.